Hi and welcome. Welcome to Arts and Wellness Cafe. Have you got your tipple? What are you drinking? I'm having to drink more water. I'm finding that I'm becoming quite dehydrated, so I need to keep my hydration levels up. Anyway, if you're new here to the channel, today is where we have a bit of chat, a bit of talk, look at some work. If there's anything going on, I'll tell you. And just a bit of insight really and reflection in the studio. And we're following on from the word which was on Monday. The word for the week is perceptive. And yeah, so if you're new here, I'd love to have you come back and visit me. Arts Wellness Cafe is every week, but I do post 3 times a week, art journal stuff and also work that I do. So remember to subscribe if you would like to be notified when I post another video. So that said, thanks for joining me in the studio. I thought I'd change things up a bit with my little background going on. I don't know whether it's like, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like an explosion. I just love being in my space. And I was just remembering, I don't know whether I'd shared this before, but for a long time, the table that I'm using is what we used to use in our kitchen, and at the end of so I'd have to clear it away, the half that I was using, you know, because we were having dinner. And it wasn't, as I was thinking about it, I was thinking, no, but before that, what was I doing before that? I went back to when I was in my 20s and I was living with my sister, and then she moved out and I had a 2-bedroom flat all to myself, and I used her room as my studio, and I had, you know, a nice big table and I was working on it, and I totally forgot. All I remembered past that was that I was, you know, working on half of a kitchen table. And for many of us as creatives, that's what we have to do, and you have to try and find ways. You find ways to get around it. It's like, you know, do you actually really need... Sometimes when you think about it, like, I don't use I've got stuff in every single inch of space, but I'm not physically sitting in every inch of space. And when I was working at the end of my table, everything was in containers, and they had to be, sorry about that, they had to be labelled. I didn't get to all the supplies. You know, there were some supplies that I didn't get to, but it's the same here. You know, you have your favourite supplies handy, and then the rest are just hoping and praying for when you one day decide to use that particular supply. But yeah, I want to encourage you to, you know, give some of your other supplies a chance, and maybe have a day where, you know, you use something that you haven't used for a while. So what about you? How have you... So I want you to think about this. Unless you're going to put in the comments, let me know how you have been and whether that is a problem for you, that you have art supplies that you never use, and name one of them. Yeah, name an art supply that you haven't used for the longest, and think about using that before the week's out in some form or fashion. And it doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to do a great big painting. It could be a lot of people on Instagram are doing those ICAD challenges. Let me see if I've got one. I've got a whole load of them that I started writing notes on to try and help me be even more organised. But you can do a, you know, do a little painting or play about with the supplies. Oops. Ooh, yeah, look, sorry. Yeah, I've got loads. Oh gosh. Got loads of them. Yeah, I used to kind of, you know, when they were in fashion, you had those little plastic... Do you remember? Who remembers those little plastic containers with... And you put the cards in, and you had tabs, and maybe they still make them, I don't know, you know, tabs, so that, oh, and I would use it for like addresses and names and addresses and things, so all the A's, B's to Z, and then, you know, the birth of the mobile phone and digital, and they kind of have been forgotten. But I've got 2 sizes here, so maybe that's something. I was thinking of joining the challenge, but I was just like, you need to get the things that you're doing and do it in a way that you know, you're consistent and everything before you take on another challenge. So that's what I'm trying to do. And the other thing is that I'm supposed to be doing, okay, let's take a break, take a sip. I guess that's more than a sip. It's a gulp. But I'm supposed to be, I say supposed to be because I've been slacking on this, bringing out a course, my own self-directed course, solo course. But there's been like this, and that's what's happened this week. There's just been this feeling that it's similar to the feeling I felt when the first, you know, when we first heard everything was going on last year. And it was a feeling of, I was going to say loss, but not loss of control, in the sense that you didn't control the events around you. And not that I do anyway, I don't, you know, the ports and the seaways and the airspace, but that your part of the world, your environment, not necessarily location, but just your part of the world, you know, that makes sense to you, was suddenly turned up on his head. And there was that slight feeling for me last week, and it was, I guess, uncertainty. So in a lot of countries they're talking about opening up, and we're supposed to be doing that here as well. And it was just like, you know, how is, just thinking about how it's going to work. But what is really important as a creative that I think you need to think about is how you're expressing those things that are happening around you. You know, we have amazing tools that we can use, and we can share that with the world, because if you think about it, you have an ability to express yourself using your supplies. Some people don't have that, and some people, you know, not everybody's on YouTube, not everybody's making videos, not everybody, you know, knows about some of the things that you know about, and ways in which you can, say, you know, de-stress yourself or unwind, and using the tools and supplies that you have. So it's important for you to make the most of those tools for yourself, but as well as share that with somebody else. And again, you don't have to be on YouTube, you don't have to, you know, create a video. It could be that you go to a local community centre and run art workshops or sessions, or, you know, you've got this new supply and you wanted to show people how they may, you know, how they may use it, or reach out to a manufacturer's or, you know, art supply company and say, you know, you'd like to showcase, you'd like to show or share the use of their supplies. Are they able to send any samples or testers? So you can, you know, do things like that. And when I shared the word perceptive, it was and I shared it on the podcast, which I'll leave the link and you can go and see. I mean, I did talk a lot about. I went to it was a 4-day symposium on pigments, and there was a lot of different people from different walks, artists, but I would say perhaps half of those were either researchers or ran organisations or something. And after I heard, I think it was like the first or second talk, or we got into the first day, it was just like I felt quite over my head, because I'm just beginning on my journey, and that feeling of, oh my gosh, you can get red from a flower, or the blue that I get from the Clitora tenatia, that I shared that last week on Arts and Wellness Café. I shared an image, and it was just like, but they're talking, about not only colour, it wasn't colour components, but it was like, pigments, rocks, thousands of years BC, and chemical analysis and things like that. But it was useful to experience that, and also it made me, obviously there were some really good talks that I really related to, and was able to take notes for myself, and found it really interesting, and came away thinking, oh, I want to try this and this. And Barbados is 22 miles from one end to the other end, that at its longest point is 22 miles and 15 miles at its width. So are there evidence of rocks that we can find to make pigments from? I'm finding a lot of coral in the garden, but I saw a video, I caught it just as I was thinking of going to bed, but it was using coral. It's this practice, they were using the coral as a stencil, so putting fabric on it and then applying, I think it was natural dyes, and they were using this a round pad, they were holding it like that, and then put the fabric over the coral, the pattern part, and then they were dabbing this had ink or dye in it, and dabbing it, and so then you could see the pattern forming. It was so pretty, but it was this is a technique that has been handed down. Anyway, so I thought to myself, oh my gosh, there's so much coral out there, and I found some really pretty, the way that it's encrusted with the sea life or whatever. It's really pretty, and obviously no two are the same, and there's varying in sizes. So I thought to myself, well, whilst you may not be able to find ochre or other rock that you could get the pigment from in different colours, there's some beautiful colours out there. You've got the flowers, you've got the plants, and now I've got the rock. So that was, I'm glad that I went and attended, and we were able to be part of their online, the Wild Pigment Project's online exhibition. I'm not sure whether it's still up. If it is, I'll put a link below, and you can see all the other artists. There were over 170, nearly 200 artists, and yes, there were some really great speakers, really good speakers that made you think and made you want to know more about their practice. And there's one artist that I was familiar with, Lucille, Junkere, and she does a lot of work with indigo dyes in Jamaica, and she's setting up a pigment centre. And I think I mentioned that last week as well. But yeah, I'm really when everything opens up, I'll be really keen to go to Jamaica, because that's where my family are from, via Africa, and see the pigments that she's got. And you know, we're hoping to maybe collaborate later on during the year in some way, shape or form. But yeah, so that perceptive, again, thinking about that word, that it's like you have a sense of things, and for me, so you have a sense of things, and one of the things I changed in regards to the way I work was how I approach my work. You know, I'm now no longer, you know, you like struggling to find, oh, what do I create? What do I draw? Cole's just he's sitting, staring out the window. I think there's outside our window, there's a bird. There was a bird's nest, as you can see, and the bird started to make the nest, but it left. No, did it leave? No, actually, it used the nest, and then after the chicks were grown, they flew off, and then it's just been there. Like it didn't fall out of the tree. It didn't fall out of the tree. So this morning I saw a bird examining it to maybe see how, you know, strong it was. So I'm hoping that it's going to come back. And we've got other birds' nests, which I think I'll show you as well. I'll show you a little. We've got they're making, one made its nest out for cotton. I've got several cotton plants, so the cotton. And then another one decided to build its nest, and it's literally right outside my bedroom window. So it's going to be great to be able to see their comings and goings. But getting back on track in the sense that, you know, I think you have to be perceptive about the way you're feeling and think about what your needs are. And sometimes you need to just stop, take a break, nurture yourself. So I've got long sleeves today. It's just like, how hot is it there? But it's because it's been raining, it's not as warm. I guess it's still in the 20s, is it? Should I see on my phone? I can tell you what the temperature is. Anyway, but or I could have done, I don't know where. I don't know where to find it on my phone. Where would I find it? Scotty? Oh no, he's not here. This is like, oh yeah, Sakani, whenever he hears his name. Could it be that we want to ask him something, how something works? But this younger generation, they're the future, and they know all about tech. They have no fear of technology, in the sense that, well, this is what sometimes it seems like Sakani's doing. So you say, Sakani, do you know how this works? So he doesn't know how it works, but this will be him. And you'll say, oh, so what is it you're doing? Yeah, hold on a minute. So all the time, so he's not, oops, he's exploring, which is what, you know, I think, and I'm generalising, not as you get older, you don't explore as much, but it's just like, I know how much this costs, and I don't want to hit the wrong buttons and
break it.
Anyway.
Break it.
Anyway, so I thought I would share with you a little video, another little process video. I did on Monday show you a I showed you, you know, me doing a card. I'm going to be doing another little card, and I'll show you that, and we'll just have a little break, shall we? And then we'll come back, and I will share with you what I'm working on in the studio. So let's go. Come on. Not you. So it's always good to do something creative, and so I have quite a lot of those little cards and things that I can work on, you know, when you just and I've built it over time. So when you've got, you know, you come into your space or you sit down and you think, oh, what do I want to do? And I will have like background papers there, or I'll have my journals, which, you know, are half filled or new or whatever. And I will go with whatever one I'm feeling. So, you know, whether it's that you, whether it's that you pick it up and you like the way that it's feeling in your hand. So this one, I really like this kind of size, and I like this size in terms of, you know, creating, because you can, you know, you can start the day with just a small painting. It doesn't have to be in a big journal, though I've got big journals that, you know, I might, if I'm exploring or experimenting. So that's always a good thing. So the other things that I've been doing this week are trying to complete some stitch projects. I've got some, I'm putting together packs of fabrics and hand-dyed fabrics, and I'm going to be offering those for sale. So I'll just show you a sneak one. So here's one, and I'm gonna put the pack together, and obviously there'll be a video, or, you know, you'll be able to see what's in this kit. And these are little bits of jewelry. So this has been hand-dyed wax resist. And so some of them will be hand-dyed wax resist, some will be painted, just painted, and they're all about, let's see what this size is, they're all going to be roughly about 5, give or take, 5.5 by 4.5 inches. So it's big enough for you to say do a, you know, little project, but, you know, it's not going to overwhelm you. So it's nice to be able to have a range of other supplies and fabrics. So I thought we'd start off with that, and I'll see how it goes, and if they go well, I'm going to make a few of them, put them up on Etsy, and we'll see how they go. So yeah, this one, I really liked this one. These ones, I made quite a few of them, and the fabric's nice. So there's different weighted fabric, and there's going to be some just a range of various fabrics. Some are going to be vintage as well, and some are going to be like, you know, my avocado dyed avocado dyed fabric. So ones like that, and this is quite light. So yeah, I'm going to be putting selections together, and we'll see how they go. And yeah, it'll be nice to see what, if you do happen to purchase one of them, what you make from it. The other thing that I've been working on is did I say this? Finish stitching projects. So oh, I hadn't shown you this one, had I? But that's one I just recently finished, and I had originally done a drawing. I'm not sure whether you can see, there's two faces. So there's a face here and then a face here. One's looking to the side and one's looking straight ahead. There's a lot of hand-dyed wax resist fabric, and this has been hand-dyed and wax resist, and it's got stitching on. And I'll do a separate video of I've got some process pictures, so I'll be doing I'll be sharing that. And then here we've got, it's the wood from cotton tree, and I've done some design on it. It's nice, isn't it? And then we've got some more hand-dyed wax resist piece. But I really, yeah, I really liked that. So you get to see it first, because I haven't shown it at all on social media. So actually, yeah, I'll just show you now, shall I? So here's the piece. I'll just come out for you so that you can see. It's a panel. It's a panel with lots of stitching. I'd initially done the stitching first, and then I added the dye. So all of this was stitched, apart from the where there's quite a lot of detail here and here. So the main image, that was what what you can see in terms of the outline is what was stitched first, and then I went in and added, it was a wax resist technique, and dyed it. And what we have on the outside is a separate panel that was wax resist, and they were, you know, very near in colour, and this one has some highlights of red, but I wanted to incorporate that as well. I loved the way this turned out. And then I had another piece which I'd cut out a circle and created that pattern. But I love, you know, the highlights of colour that we've got. And then I used a branch from my cotton tree that you would have seen earlier, or you may have seen earlier, but this is a branch from my cotton tree, and I've burned into the wood after it had dried. The back of the piece, I've just used a plain blue fabric. I didn't want to kind of bring in anything else, and then you can see the back of these pieces. So the only other thing for me to add is my name and the title of this, but which I haven't yet got, but I really loved the way it turned out, and I would like to experiment more. It started initially out as I'd done a drawing like this, and I wanted to see how it would look on canvas. So yeah, I'm pleased with the results, and I may even do a template if somebody else wants to recreate it. Then, you know, maybe I'll create a template of it. But yeah, that's this Conversations in Blue. So that's one of the things that I've been doing, and trying to get, you know, I've started quite a few pieces, but trying to get them to the final stage where, you know, they're about to tell their story. I feel that every piece has a story to tell, and so it's nice when you get to that point where it's actually it's finished, you know. So take care for now. I'm gonna go, yeah, and I will see you soon. Please do let me know how you get on. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and leave me a comment to let me know what you're currently working on. What is that one thing that you haven't used that you could possibly put to use, or gift it to somebody else? You know, you don't, if you've got stuff that you've not using and you unlikely to use, then, you know, why not bless somebody else with it? Anyway, let's go. Take care. Bye.